And here we are today, after so much trial and error, frustration, even almost divorce. Yes, divorce, and I'll explain that why in a little bit. And welcome back to another episode. I'm Gaston Rossato. This is season 7, episode 12.
And I'm Renzo Rossato, and today we're at the Key Biscayne Yacht Club. We have something very special for you guys, a 1966 Volkswagen Beetle Jolly.
That's right, Renzo. You said Jolly. I don't have to say, not like any other Beetle. A very special build, very incredible story. I love it. Yes. We're going to share that today with you in this episode. But before we get started, hit that subscribe button, give us a follow, give us a like. Renzo, we have so many great cars on our channel.
Yes.
An incredible archive. Let's add this one to the collection today.
Let's go enjoy it.
Do it. First time impression driving this car, and I think we brought it to the right place.
Oh yeah.
We're on the island of Key Biscayne here in Miami, and this is the lifestyle that this car embodies. This is the purpose build. This is the yacht life. This is, you know,
the beach life.
My golf cart is better than yours lifestyle.
Just a nice and jolly lifestyle.
The jolly lifestyle.
My first time in a Jolly.
And this, of course, is not a traditional Jolly. Right. Jolly being the Fiat 500 Jolly. Right. And again, super cool story behind what Volkswagen Jolly is and this particular car. But first, let's enjoy this drive.
Yes. This is very nice. AC is blowing.
I call this organic air, very eco-friendly. How do you describe the feeling of this car? And, you know, I don't want to say it's like driving a golf cart, because it's not really like driving a golf cart. It's a lot more solid than a golf cart.
And what gives that feeling is the no doors.
Yeah, it's the no door sensation, which is, you know, very neat. Not a lot of vehicles you can experience that in. And, you know, it's an easy car to drive. Yes, it's a stick shift. But, you know, it's a Volkswagen Beetle. It's a very user-friendly, fun car. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, everybody recognizes it. You don't have to be a car person to know what the Volkswagen Beetle is.
And you're probably thinking, common sense will tell you, you don't have to be an engineer. If you chop off the roof and you chop off the doors,
right,
you're going to get a lot of flex. The car loses its structural integrity.
Right.
And all that was compensated for building the car properly, using reinforcements, you know, welded to the chassis, or the body rather.
And you feel it. You'll feel it.
And yeah, I feel that the car is sturdy. I mean, driving this car and driving a normal Beetle, whether it be convertible or a hardtop, I don't feel a difference as far as body roll when you turn. So I like having that sense of solid, right?
Right.
Driving the road, it makes you feel safe. We don't have doors, but we have lap belts.
Yeah.
Speaking of safety.
And I love the detail of that Volkswagen logo right in the center of the buckle.
But it's important to understand, you know, again, purposely built, and where you'll be driving this car and how you'll be driving this car. And this is just island driving. You know, there might be a lot of different purposes depending on who you are or where you live, but if I had to guess, whoever buys this car, that's where it's going to end up.
Definitely.
Good little push. The car is powered by a 1600 dual port engine. You know, that is the largest engine provided by Volkswagen.
Yeah,
So
More than enough.
we have the adequate power. And we're sure getting a lot of eyeballs.
A lot of smiles.
A lot of smiles. This car is all about the vibe, you know? I look at this car, I'm driving this car, you know, I want a particular drink.
Feels like I'm on vacation.
Not that I want to drink and drive by any means, but
Yeah, you mean like lemonade.
I just hear, you know, Bob Marley, we jamming in my head. So right now we're starting to pick up a little speed. Speedometer indicates we're doing almost 40 miles an hour. And it still feels solid, it still feels nice.
Yeah, it feels great.
I feel comfortable driving this car. It doesn't create any particular anxieties or fears. That's the beauty of this, right? It's not just a golf car if you want to use it as such, but also it's a real car. We can drive into downtown Miami now with no problem. All right, time for the walk around, Renzo.
Yes.
To explain truly the story behind the Volkswagen Jolly and this particular car.
That's right. So the Volkswagen Jolly, right? It was actually a prototype. Only one of these exists in the world. That's sitting in Germany in the Volkswagen Museum, and where the passion and the inspiration for this build came from.
And how did that happen? Well, first and foremost, as we said, we're in Key Biscayne, right?
Yep.
An island right here in Miami. And we found it fit to do the video here because the idea and inspiration, like you said, for this actual build all started right here with the owner who came across some social media article, or I think he was on YouTube. He saw a video of the real Jolly at a car event.
Right.
And said, what is that? I need to have it. I need to build this car. He first thought he could just go and buy one, realizing there's only one in the world and it's a prototype, so that's unobtainable. Next step is we build it. Only passion and love for cars can make you do something like that.
Exactly.
Because not only did he build one, he built two.
All right.
He's gonna keep one. The car that we're looking at is for sale. He thought the more authentic, genuine car to recreate the original should be the one that the market has, right? So I agree with that assessment, and here we are today after so much trial and error, frustration, even almost divorce. Yes, divorce, and I'll explain that why in a little bit. But first,
So let's talk about the base of this car, right?
right, it's a 1966 Volkswagen Beetle hardtop. It was not a convertible, so all had to be chopped away. You really got to understand structural engineering in a sense, because when you do that, as we said earlier, we lose the rigidity of the car begins to flex, and that would be no fun to drive. So the full car underneath is reinforced to compensate for the lack of roof and doors. How did he come about finding someone to do this work? Because you just don't walk into a body shop and say, hey, do this for me.
And I love
it's an undertaking. Most people just don't want to deal with it. So he, through a friend, found this one gentleman who was a welder in Cuba. Okay, so I love this story because it goes back to the islands, right? And if anybody knows anything about Cuba, is they don't have the resources to buy new parts, and everything they do or restore has to be from scratch or existing materials and tools.
They have to refurbish what they have, so it takes tremendous craftsmanship to do that.
Kind of like what the owner referred at one point was, I can give him a bumper to build, out of the box, and he won't know how to do it. But I said, hey, make this bumper for me from scratch. He can do it. So he realized, he knew immediately that was the guy he needed for the job. And I think it came out wonderful.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The next step in this very tedious process was the interior, this weaved interior. And where do you find someone to do this? And he went everywhere, even traveled to the Dominican Republic, took the frames there because he was told that there's still some artisans that could potentially do it. They could not do it.
It's an art form that's been lost.
So where do you get all do-it-yourself projects?
YouTube.
So he YouTubed, and he sat with his wife for 2 months every evening, just practicing and practicing and practicing. His wife became very frustrated, apparently, and the project had to end quickly if they didn't do it successfully. So he was able to finish successfully. It came out beautiful, and the car is beautiful. It's got a single-stage paint, just like the original car. It's got a 1600 motor. It's got a 4-speed manual, And you know, it's just a fun car, like we said.
It's awesome.
It's so fun and so cool that even Car and Driver picked it up. Link for the story in writing is down below. So we thank Car and Driver for that.
And look at all the smiles and waves and thumbs up that we got today. And I mean, it's hard not to smile driving around this thing. It's such a cool feeling.
It's all worth it. You know, when you think about the donor car and buying the car and sending it off to the shop and getting it painted and getting it mechanically overhauled and doing some custom work, you spend so much time, so much effort, and so much money.
Yeah.
That if you were to factor all that in, you say to yourself, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
So I love how passion takes you places and makes you do things that just don't make sense, but at the end it just makes absolute sense.
It does.
So we want to remind you guys of all the links down below to our social media, and including the ad for this car where you can see the full over 100 photo gallery is linked down below.
That's right, guys. The car is for sale. I don't expect it for it to last very long, and I hope it stays local because it's just a beauty.
Yeah. Renzo, it's Friday. We're on the beach.
Let's go.
We got the Jolly. Let's not finish the date right now.
I agree.
Let's do this. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Before we go, please hit that subscribe button, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Renzo Rossato. Peace out.